Well, hello, hello. It is time for Wake Up and Airbrush. I am so glad you are here. Guess what? Today we are going to do some fun demos with our old faithful. We haven't done it for a while with our Airbrush Breeze. And so I am going to be doing and demoing the Airbrush Breeze today. So be prepared for some of our fun facts, fun tips and tricks about the Airbrush Breeze and how to use that. If you have not used the Airbrush Breeze, this is one you're going to want to try because I'm telling you, the Airbrush Breeze really is, it's our classic airbrushing. This is where airbrushing all started, and it is so versatile and you can use it on so many different things. So we've been using the Airbrush Spray Silk Foundation. That's a great new formula that we've put out there. Hi, Andrea. So glad to see you. Thanks for coming in and saying hi. If you guys, when you come in, let me know you're there. Let's say hi. We are going to go through and we are going to just do some demos on this beautiful, it's not a classic, but in comparison to our Airbrush Silk Foundation, it is your traditional airbrushing technique. And so we are going to do some airbrushing techniques today. So the first thing I want to show you is, remember, when you go to purchase the bundle, and I'm going to go ahead and just show you what that looks like. The bundle comes with a starter kit. And so you get the Airbrush Breeze device, you get two foundations, you get a blush, and then you get what we call an illuminizer, which is a little bit of a highlighter. So you get all of those things with the bundle, and I'm going to be demoing all of those things today. So one of the first things you do whenever you get your Breeze in, and a lot of people don't do this, guys, you got to charge it. It does have a little bit of charge in it, but you want to get that battery accustomed to being fully charged. So make sure you go ahead and pull this little thing to the side and charge it for at least 4 hours. You'll see the little light rotating on the front as it charges. So make sure you get a nice full charge before you get started. Also, the next thing before you start, do some trigger training. I'm not going to go through what trigger training is, okay? But we have some great tutorials on trigger training. And trigger training, anybody that has ever airbrushed will tell you that trigger training is the most important thing to do. And figuring out how to use this ever so sensitive trigger. I mean, she doesn't look like she would be very sensitive, but this girl's sensitive because she has the power to just release all of your product at once, and you don't want that. You want it very slowly, evenly distributed upon your skin to heat and activate, and that's what gives you the lightness and feel of airbrushing. So make sure that you, before you ever start using your device, before you ever start airbrushing, make sure you do your trigger training. It's very important. Alrighty, so here is the next thing. You gotta shake your products up. So one of the things that makes airbrushing so different, it makes it different, number one, but it also makes it so effective, is all we are giving you is pigmentation. Pigmentation, and you'll hear the little balls inside of your products. That pigmentation is just color, and that's why you don't need a whole lot. It's because you're just doing pigmentation. So you want to make sure you shake it up so that you can mix up your formulas and that it'll be released and you'll get all of the pigmentation out as you need to have. So even with our Airbrush Spray Silk Foundation, you want to shake it up. But as doing this traditional airbrushing, it is very important to mix and shake that pigment in your little thing. So all of my pigments are shaken up. I have charged my Breeze. I have done my trigger training. Next, I would tell you to use, I I would tell you to use water to try and put it on, because here's the thing, you can see water on your skin. You're not necessarily going to be able to see this first off, and you want to get that technique down. The whole point is that this is light and natural and airy, and so you should not immediately see it on your skin. It needs to heat with your skin. When it heats with your skin, it activates that pigment and then it starts to show up. And so you've got to be patient just a little bit with this airbrushing, and you've got to be patient. But when you do it with water, you're rest assured that you're releasing the right amount. You can see it on your skin, all that. Oh, that's practice. That's before you ever airbrush. You want to get your practice in so you don't waste your products. Okay. Thank you so much for showing the love. If you want to come in and give some likes and loves, follow along and share, we would be happy to do this demo journey with you. So I am going to come in and I am actually going to use, I am a 2030. So when you are sent this, you get 2 foundations sent to you in your color palette. 20 is pretty much my color, just a little bit lighter than I am. 30 is definitely warmer. So when I hit summertime, I usually lean into 30. 20, I mix just a little bit with my 30 and it gives me a great, great color. So that's what we're going to do. That is the beautiful thing about airbrushing. You don't have to buy a new foundation every time seasons change. You can just adjust your color and voila, you have a new foundation color and you don't have to buy one. So that is, it saves you money in the long run. This bad boy does everything. And that is why it is so different, because it's not just one foundation, put it on easy. It is multiple tools. It's a tool for multiple foundations, multiple colors, and you really can use it for everything on your face if you so choose to. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to go ahead and put my formula in. I am going to put about 2 drops, 3 drops of the 30 in, because it's a little bit of a deeper formula. And again, we're in the middle of winter here. And so I'm also going to come in and I'm going to put probably 4 to 5 drops of my 20 in, because look, I'm a lighter girl and that's okay. I don't mind. And I'm going to turn it on and let me back bubble to mix just a little bit. Okay. So when we are doing this, 4 finger whisks away, that is your idea space. That is going to let you can look, you can see the skin, or you can see the air hit my skin. You can hear the air, but nothing comes out until you pull that trigger back. So I can feel in the air. I know about where it's going to be, but nothing comes out until I pull this trigger back. So your trigger training really is important. So I am going to pull it back lightly. And again, it is, oh, hey, we bubbled up. Hold on. I made a mess. Sometimes that does happen. It's been a while since I've used my machine. So let me just wipe that off. This is where lives are fun and we need blooper reels. The blooper reels are real, guys. They're real because stuff happens. So let me turn that back on and see what we're doing there. I may have had my formula get a little too thick because it has sat. Now, one of the things with airbrushing that you can, that is it's a thing that happens with airbrushing foundations, because it's full pigment. When it gets colder, it can get thicker. So one, you can warm it up in warm water underneath the faucet, which is what happened here, is it got a little thick. Or you can dilute it out, which is what I'm going to do. I'm just putting 1 drop of water in there and I'm going to blend that out, mix it just a little bit. Okay, it looks like my airbrush machine is going to give me some challenges today. So maybe today is the day we problem solve and make sure that our machines are working the way they need to. This little screw right here is what is going to determine how your foundation comes out. And so let me go ahead. I have been working with a client, and when I pulled mine apart, I probably did not fully put it back the way it needs to be put back. So I probably am going to have to calibrate it a little bit to make it happen. Okay. Hold on just a second. Alrighty. Well, that's how you know live is live, guys. We are going to come in. So, for some reason, let's do some problem solving. Whenever you have a machine that is not blowing out, there are several things that could happen. And so this is where we're going to problem solve. Because I use this bad boy so much and demo so much with clients and all of the good things, sometimes you just have to go through a few steps of problem solving to see why is it not working. My first step for problem solving, is it cleaned? So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to put some water in there, back bubble a little bit, blow it out. I'm going to go high speed, blow. So it looks like it's not coming out. And so it's probably my needle. And we are going to back bubble, back bubble, back bubble, press it out. Let's go ahead and add some more. Adjusting that needle just a little bit. And then going through and pressing. Okay. I'm also going to take some Tip Top Cleaner. That is one of our problem solving is Tip Top Cleaner. We're going to let that sit in there for just a minute. Going to press and back bubble. Let's go ahead. And this has a timer on it, so it didn't just die. It has a timer on it to where if you accidentally leave it on, it will go off. So let's go ahead. And I am going to take a Q-tip, and I am just going to go in here and do a little bit of a clean in there. Now, that should clear your well. If that does not clear your well, like this is not clearing your well, that means that we have something wrong with this little needle that needs to have some attention. Another thing you can do is clean out this little bad boy. This little bolt right here is one of those problem solving, and you can clean that out. And so we want to make sure that we get that needle health really well. And I'm going to turn that on right like that and just put it on till it's firm. Ah, did you see that? Okay, some people would be like, it's done, it's messed up, it's dead, it's not working. No, it just needed a little bit of extra help. We are now coming out and problem solving. So your needle health, if you use it like I do, and I use this a lot, it comes down to cleaning and making sure this little nut and bolt is clean and that your well is clear. So now that we have problem solved our way to success in getting our look together, let's do a makeup look, okay? Again, this is a tool. And when you use a tool as much as I do, you got to clean brushes, you got to clean things. It is a part of maintaining your tools. And again, I use this and I problem solve with clients every day. We pull it apart, we put it together, all of the things. So it's normal to have to pull apart and clean when you have invested in a tool that can do so much. All righty, let's go ahead and let me go back, and we are going to put in our drops of our 30 and our drops of our 20. And now let's mix and airbrush. I'm going to turn it on, do a little mix. Okay, 4-finger whisks away, pulling back very lightly. I should not feel wet. You should feel like a cool mist of air blowing onto your skin, but you should not see the foundation on your skin like you would in a traditional makeup look. And if it looks wet, you are pulling back too hard. If it feels wet and tacky, you are pulling back too hard. It should be a light, very light mist of spray that just feels kind of cool, not trying to cover every little thing up. If you notice, 4-finger whisks away, and I am constantly moving. In other words, I am putting a little bit of pixels of the foundation everywhere on my skin, and I'm consistently moving, and that I'm giving it time to heat with my skin. And you're just going to see this coverage come to life in a matter of minutes. While I'm doing all of the other areas on my skin, you'll see me go around. The areas that I did over here are starting to heat up, and I'm going to get more and more coverage as it heats with my skin and as it just kind of blooms out. Now that should be, I'm out with that. Now, this is a starting coverage of foundation. This may or may not be enough for you. It is totally up to you. But the beautiful thing about it is you can build coverage where you want it. I did not do a lot of coverage under my eye because I am going to use eraser for that. But let's go ahead and do some blush. Let me go ahead and just add a little bit of color on the eye, because we're going to go light on the eyes today, because we are going to be talking about the airbrush or the Breeze tool and all of the foundations that come with that. Okay, blush. Guys, blush is, well, no, I'm not going to do blush first. I'm going to do eraser first, because under the eyes, I'm going to need it to have a little bit more coverage. And when I put my blush in, I don't have to clean my machine out in between all of the colors. Like, I don't have to clean the machine. I did my foundation. I can just put eraser in there. Now, for this, you can use eraser in different spots on your face. You can use eraser in different ways to cover up different hyperpigmentations under your eyes. It is a concealer that works well. And so it is light. If you need it darker than this, which I don't, but if you need it darker, you can always come in with eraser and you can add a drop of your color to deepen the color of eraser to make it your perfect concealer color. That's the beauty of the Breeze, is you can customize it for anything. Now, when you're doing under the eyes, you're going to want to tilt that Breeze unit. Remember, I'm not quite using anything yet. You're going to want to tilt that Breeze unit, not too much, because I just made a mess by tilting too much. But you're going to want to tilt that Breeze unit at an angle, and you can feel the air underneath. And then slowly just release it under the eye. You're not going to have to worry about covering up too much. If you get it like that and that's too dark, you see how much is on there? That I released too much. So this is what you don't want to do. But if you do, if this happens, because it does, just take a little brush or your finger. You can use your finger and pat it out. It's not a, oh my gosh, we messed up, it's totally a done deal. No, it's so forgiving and it's just pigment. So if you want to use a brush to pat it out, you can. If you want to use your finger, you can. But the best is to lightly just feel underneath there and let that lightness go. If I have a scar up here, I'm going to hit that little scar up there. I like a little more coverage on my chin. I'm going to hit that little bit of extra coverage there. Got a little bit of redness on my nose. I'm going to hit a little bit of extra there. And that is going to give me that extra concealing coverage that I like and need. And so there are so many ways to use this and it be the best coverage you have had. It's customizable to very light coverage, to very full coverage, to however you want. So look, my coverage feels like it is pretty well full. So now I'm just going to come in. I'm going to wipe out that well, just like that. And it turned off on its own because the timer is on. There's a 2-minute timer on there for it to work. And so I'm going to shake the blush up just a little bit and the illuminator that I have. I am going to add some illuminator to my blush to give it a little bit of luminosity. Look, guys, this blush is super high pigment. So please use only 3 to 4 drops. It is so high pigment, and a little bit will definitely go a long way. Adding a little bit of an illuminator to it, so you will see that this blush can be matte, but I wanted to have a little bit of a glow. So again, coming in very light on the finger and not putting a whole lot on, because you will watch this glow and grow in color as I do this. I mean, seriously, watch that. This blush really does bloom on the face. I mean, it gives a color like none other with just a few little drops. Okay, look at this as it heats with my skin, as it glows and grows with that luminosity. As we're letting that do it, I am going to go ahead and just wipe this out, clean it up. Blow that little excess out. So look, now we have got that glow and that color. I'm going to give that a few minutes to heat with my skin. But what if I go, you know what? That is too much for me. Guess what? The easy thing to do is, if you want more coverage, you can easily come in. You've got 2 choices. You can come in with a buffer brush and buff it out. Or if you decide I want a little bit more coverage, you can come in with your foundation and just do another fine pass over it. And it will soften that color just a little bit and give you a little bit more coverage with your foundation. Easy, breezy, and so natural. Alrighty, let's go ahead and let's do some stuff on the eyes, because we have been doing all of the things on the face with the Breeze Duo, and we want to make sure that we have a complete look put together. So let's go ahead and put some mascara on while we are letting our foundation kind of heat with our skin and bloom in the ways that we like for it to bloom on our skin. That's the one thing that with the Breeze Duo you will find out is you have an unlimited amount of creativity for your foundation, for your eyeshadow, for your blush, for illuminator, all of those things. Not to mention, it is so light and long wearing because there's not any extra stuff in it. This is what we use on set with our clients and for weddings, because it is a minimal amount of stuff in it. It is full pigment and it sits so lightly on the skin that it doesn't settle into those fine lines and wrinkles. The only way you're going to have an issue with that settlement is if you are adding way too much in one spot and not having trained your trigger finger. The trigger finger training is the most important because you want to lightly disperse that pigment all over your face and not have too much sitting in one spot. Alrighty, I think I got some on my nose. So for me, the final, just real quick, the final thing that I do, I did not use any contour. I did not do any of that stuff. You can use that. I could use a darker color, but this works so beautifully with traditional makeup also. It's not like you just have to airbrush. You can use this with traditional makeup. You can mix, you can match, but it looks so natural and so light. This is going to stay on my skin all day long, which is the perk that I love. I don't have to use a sealer. I don't have to come in and spray anymore. It is there. Now, for me personally, I still buff. It is just one of those things that make me feel great about how my makeup looks. But I very rarely have to, knock off any extra pigment because this is so light on the skin and the pigment does not settle like you would with a concealer on the skin, but it does give me that final little polish that I enjoy so much. So do I have to do this? I do not. Not like with traditional foundations where you've got to blend, 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 buff, buff, buff. This is blended. The Airbrush Breeze blends everything as it applies it because it's so light and so natural looking. So this right here is the most effective way to get a light, natural look while still getting coverage and it not settle into those fine lines and wrinkles because it is such a light formula. It sits on top of your skin. Oh, we love it too. I'm telling you, it's one of the best techniques out there is to airbrush. And you don't get a more user-friendly airbrush machine than this. I've been an airbrush makeup artist for over 20 years. I've done all of them. I used to carry around the 5-pound airbrusher. It will cover your melasma, 100%. It will cover it. You can build the coverage to be a fuller coverage. You can use eraser as a concealer. You can use our Rose foundation is a fuller coverage foundation. So there's so many techniques you can use that will cover your melasma, but you don't have to use as much foundation on the rest of your face. So you get the coverage where you need it. You can customize it. That's the beautiful thing about the Breeze. You can customize it. Yeah, melasma is one of those things that it is a challenge with the skincare, but when you have not gotten it taken care of or it has not, gone away, covering it can be a challenge. And this definitely will cover it and still let your face look very natural, very light. And it doesn't move. A lot of times it moves. Foundation that is heavy coverage can move and can slide and all of those things, or it can get real cakey and settle heavy. This does not do it. Oh yeah, it can be a challenge when it comes from that. So good luck with that, Kana. I know that you're doing all of the things to help with that, but in the meantime, until you find the fix for the melasma, this is a great tool to help cover it up. Alrighty, my friends. Well, that was our demo. That was a fun demo because not only did we get to see how our airbrush spray, our Breeze Duo works, but you also got to see when it doesn't work, what do I do? How do I fix it? What steps do I take? And so I loved that I got to show you all of the steps to make sure that your Breeze stays healthy through the needle, through cleaning and all of the things. Because it's a tool, and once you get that tool placed and done how you need it done, it works beautifully for years and years and years on end. Yes, put it in your cart. You will be so glad you did. Alrighty, my friends, I hope you have a wonderful day today. Remember, we have beauty experts available to you on all the social media platforms. We have beauty experts available to you on our group called Luminess Live, where you can call us, you can post in that group, ask your questions, and we will be more than happy to answer them at any point in time. In the meantime, do all that you can do to have a beautiful life. And one of the most beautiful things that you can do is to be kind. So be kind to yourself, my friend, and then be kind to others. Have a great day. I will see you next time.